Hello, friends. I do not know how many of you know that masters or doing a postgraduate program from Canada could be a very good pathway for Canadian immigration. And there are two particular programs which I am really fond of. One of them is the Ontario Master Graduate Stream. That is a non-express entry stream. But then you have a very interesting one, which is British Columbia Postgraduate International Stream. In this particular stream, you have option for both a normal PNP application, non-express entry, and also an express entry option as well. So this is really interesting. We're going to talk about this program in detail. And before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Sandhu, and I'm a CICC licensed immigration consultant based out of Ontario, Canada. On my YouTube channel, you will find many videos on PNP's immigration pathways, analysis, and so on and so forth. So I think you would find this video useful as well, and look at the previous ones as well. That would be useful to you as well. And do subscribe to the channel. So without any further ado, let's dive into today's topic. So this is the BCPNP International Postgraduate Stream. So this is an international postgraduate stream for recent graduates of an eligible British Columbia post-secondary institution with an eligible master's or doctoral degree, which could be from any field from a public BC university, right? But in case of master's, it has to be a specific program from a specific institute. Only then you are eligible. So we'll discuss that in detail. You do not need a job offer from an employer to apply for this stream. It's really, really good. You do not need to register for this stream. If you meet the eligibility requirement, you can apply directly to the BCPNP. So what does it mean? So it means that in normal circumstances, what happens is that you create an expression of interest, or you can think of it as a pre-application, and then they invite you, and then you submit your application. Whereas in this case, you can apply directly. Very, very good thing. And just to add, so this is a great option for a middle-aged professionals in their 30s or 40s who want to think about having education in Canada and looking at a possible path to PR, right? So this is a great stream for them as well. So now let's look at the eligibility. To qualify for the stream, you must have obtained eligible graduate level education from an eligible program of study at a post-secondary institution in BC in the last 3 years. So 3 years is important. Master's degree has to be in an eligible program in the natural, applied, or health science disciplines from a BC post-secondary institution. And the doctoral degrees, where we are not talking about medical doctor, we are talking about the PhDs in any field of study from a public BC post-secondary institution, and also PhD students who have been admitted to a candidacy at a public BC post-secondary institution are also eligible. You must demonstrate that you have the ability and intent to live, work, and economically establish in BC. And this stream also has an express entry option, which is really good. So what does that mean? So normally, for example, if you don't have an experience, you can apply directly, right? But you also have an option that if you have any valid express entry profile, right, based on maybe CEC, federal skilled worker category, or federal skilled trades category, you will still be able to use that option and apply under the express entry BC option. Now we will talk about what programs are eligible for this specific stream and from which institutions, right? If it is a doctoral program, then it could be any public post-secondary institution in BC, so all of them are eligible. But if you have a master's level program, it should be from a public post-secondary institution or some of the private institutions which are listed here, right? So most of the programs are in agriculture, biology, computer science, engineering technology, health professions, mathematics and statistics, natural resource conservation, and physical sciences. So I'm going to open this link and show you all the eligible programs. So this is the PDF which has all the information about the programs of study in eligible fields. So I will put this in description. If you can see, the first thing is doctoral level programs are at public post-secondary institutions are eligible. Then let's look at the master's one. So if you see, these are the master's one. So you have British Columbia Institute of Technology. There are a few programs here. Then you have Royal Roads University, few programs there. Then you have Simon Fraser University, a couple of programs. And if you can see, the list goes on. Then you have University of British Columbia, so a couple of programs, and actually a lot of programs, I would say. And then if you go to the next one, then you have University of Northern British Columbia. So they also have a couple of programs which are eligible. Then you have University of Victoria. So these are the programs which are eligible from that. And last but not the least, we have the few private post-secondary institutions. If you have done these following programs from these following institutions, those will be eligible as well. Now let's talk about distance education and location of education. So you must have completed 50% or more of your studies from within Canada, and your education is not eligible if it's a distance education learning either from abroad or from within Canada. However, due to the impact of COVID-19, online courses were completed between January 2020 to June 2023 as part of the BC eligible program study while residing in Canada is eligible. Another important thing is intention to reside, which is very important for any kind of PNP. So you have to provide some evidence. So evidence of this may include the length of your residence, previous or current in BC, your connections to BC through work, study, or family, the kind of activities or actions you are taking to permanently settle in BC, such as finding a job, current employment in BC, employment search details, community involvement, ability to financially support yourself and your dependents in BC, and your plan to obtain or maintain a legal authorization to work in BC. So those are ways in which you can establish and give evidence related to your intention to reside. So now let's talk about the BC Express Entry option. As I was alluding to you earlier, so this stream has two options in two pathways by which you can become a permanent resident. Either you can choose the non-express entry option, right? Or you can choose the express entry option. For express entry option, so it says if you are interested in applying to the BCPNP using the EEBC option, which is express entry British Columbia option, you need to meet the minimum criteria for both the BCPNP skills immigration stream as well as one of the eligible federal economic immigration programs like Federal Skilled Worker Program, Federal Skilled Trades Program, Canadian Experience Class. And then you have to obtain a valid IRCC Express Entry profile number, a job seeker validation code, and indicate your interest in immigrating to British Columbia. Now, if you look at the application process, as I was mentioning earlier, in this specific stream, you do not have to go through the step 1 and step 2, which is neither you have to register, neither you have to wait for the invitation. You can directly apply. So you apply, they make the decision, and then you do the IRCC application and you get your permanent residence. So the IRCC application depends upon what kind of option you have chosen. So if you have chosen the express entry option, so it will be, you will get the express entry invitation and then you will apply, and your processing time would be around 6 months for the PR application. But if it's a non-express entry, it can be anywhere between 1 to 2 years, right? On the right side, you see the snapshot of the BC online portal where you will go and submit your application. So some of the documents which will be required would be copy of your expense entry, candidacy from IRCC if you are applying under the BC express entry option, copy of the Canadian immigration records, a biographical page of passport, current photograph, copy of LMIA if applicable, copy of official education transcripts and or education certificates such as diploma, degree, copy of ECA if applicable, copies of any occupational licenses or certificates, current resume, CV, evidence of intent to settle and find employment in BC, copy of spouse Canadian work permit if applicable, and copies of spouse 2 recent pay stubs in Canada if applicable, and copy of spouse employment offer letter from Canadian employer if applicable. And as it's mentioned on the right side, you see that the recent graduates can provide a letter from your BC post-secondary institution showing the completion of the required courses if a certificate is not yet available. And PhD students can provide a letter from your public BC university confirming that you have been admitted to candidacy if it is not yet showing on your transcripts. But letters must be on the school's official letterhead. If you need my help, my contact information is 437-848-7200. You can book an appointment by going to my website, www.dilimmigration.com. And my YouTube handle is Dil Sandhu Talks, where you can find many videos as I was mentioning earlier. Please do like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends and people who you think might find it useful, and hit the bell icon so that you're notified anytime I create a new video. So thank you so much and wish you all the very best for your Canadian immigration journey.